Hey everyone, welcome to this introductory video on the English 3.3 External, responding critically to unfamiliar text through close reading supported by evidence. This internal is worth 4 credits at English Level 3. With that being said, let's just get into it. So at the moment you might be quite familiar with unfamiliar texts, and you will know a few things that you can expect. Unfamiliar texts usually have 3 different types of text, the first being non-fiction, for example articles and recounts, essentially just stories or texts that are true and not made up. Prose is a typical story format that you're used to, and unfamiliar texts often use short stories or excerpts from a novel. Lastly, poetry is frequently used, most likely in the form of a poem, but can also be seen as odes or in song lyrics. This video will cover 2 main things about the assessment, an overview of the assessment and what our LearnCoach tutorials will cover. So there are 3 main aspects of this assessment, which we've broken down into writer's purpose, the identification of language features, and writing your response. Let's go into each one in more detail. The first part is writer's purpose, which involves being able to tell what kind of text you're looking at, whether it's prose, non-fiction piece, or a poem. Because the different text types have different key features, it's important to distinguish early on. The big thing that you need to do is understand the meaning of the text. Because it's English, there can be more than one right meaning, but whatever one you choose, it needs to be valid and supported by evidence in the form of language features. Lastly, you need to be able to figure out why the writer chose to write about the topic. Did they want you to feel something or teach you about something? This is all part of the writer's purpose, specifically the effect on the audience that the writer was seeking. Part 2 is the language feature identification. You may know lots or very little about language features, but this is the most crucial part of an unfamiliar text analysis. Once you've figured out the naming part of the language feature, you then have to figure out the effect it's having on the text. Examples of things you can ask yourself include, is this feature slowing down the text? Why is it doing that? Or does this text make it hard for me to read? Why is it doing that? Once you have the effect of the language feature, you can tie it back to the writer's purpose, and how the language features are used to explore that purpose. Part 3 is writing, which includes learning how to structure an answer, using the recommended TL structure, and we will also go through and break down achieved, merit and excellence level answers to see how you can jump from one grade to another. You will see in the drop-down menu or in the sidebar a list of videos. This is our teaching video playlist. You will first see different types of text, breaking down the text, and writer's purpose under the writer's purpose bracket. Then we have linking aspects and purpose under language features, and answering question 3 and structure under writing. This concludes our introductory video on the 3.3 English External. Feel free to get started on the playlist, and we wish you the very best for your exam prep. Cheers and have a good one.